This is a review of the Anpveez 5 megapixel Power over Ethernet Dome Security IP camera. It's actually a turret camera rather than dome. It's weatherproof. It has infrared for night. It's power over Ethernet. Has motion detection and a wide angle 2.8 millimeter lens. The advertised distance for the infrared lens is 30 meters. Here you see the camera being unpacked. And this is what comes with the camera. I just connected the Anpveez camera to a power on Ethernet port of my PoE switch. I installed the AJ Device Tools program that came on the little mini DVD. This thing. I'm going to run the program to find the camera. So I'm running the program and it found the camera. And I'm now going to right click it and left click modify IP address and assign it netmask DNA 8881. Hang on. So I was confused by the wording of the software. So after it finds your camera in the list, to change the IP address, you put a check mark under IP, and then you have to click this thing called IP batch setting, which sounds strange to me, rather than just IP address of the camera. And once you do that, so if I click it, I chose IP batch manual setting instead of DHCP. Then you put the start and stop address of that you want it. And so basically, I put the start and stop the same as what I wanted, not this address. Is something different. I'm going to cancel out of it. And then it changed it to the address I wanted. Again, to call changing one device IP address a batch setting thing seems a misnomer, but that's what it is, and that's how you change the IP address. Now that that's done, I should be able to go directly to my Blue Iris. So we'll load up the Blue Iris client and add camera and find it, theoretically speaking. So I'm going to go here, add new camera. I'll call it my camera 8, network IP. We'll say OK. And now it's going to say, well, we'll just leave it at generic ONVIF camera. And let's see what happens if I just do it that way. See what it finds. So it found it over here. So I'm going to select it. And then OK. Close. I'll leave the defaults as they are, except I'm going to change the password. And it found the camera, and you can see I'm upside down, but that is kind of expected since the camera would normally be turned oriented this way, hanging from the soffit, and then done that way. Let's see, should catch me there. Then it will be right side up. Let me set this camera back down. Mounting the camera has some pluses and minuses. One plus that I really like is this cap for the power connector. So if you're going to be using power over Ethernet, you don't need this, and then this becomes exposed to the weather. But they include this cap, which you just snap onto the end of the power connector, and that weather seals it and protects it and gets it out of the way. So that's really nice. The Amcrest cameras that I have don't have that. So you have to take off the trim ring. You grab it here and rotate it counterclockwise and pull it off. Now they say that there are two ways to mount it. One is, you drill the 3 screw holes in your ceiling, and another hole for the cable. But it also says you can run the cable out the side through the groove, but there is no groove in the side. But it does appear that there are some places where you could, you could cut out a groove. So that's what I'm going to do. And I've chosen the spot and marked it with a permanent marker here, a little dot. And I'm going to, because it's going to be mounted like this, and I want the wire coming off to this side. So I'm going to cut the groove out here with a Dremel. It seems like a defect in the design that would force the user to have to do this step in order to run the wire out the side. But it is what it is. And I'm cutting through aluminum. That white is I'm going to have to go a faster speed in order to cut through this. It's pretty solid. All right, so now when this ring is mounted, I have a place to run the wire out the side, which wasn't there before. Again, it seems kind of silly that I should have to do that in order to run this wire. Other models of the same company's camera have these already cut in. This one didn't. So anyway, there it is. So now it's ready for mounting to the roof. So this little LED indicator light indicating an Ethernet connection, a live Ethernet connection, is a nice touch. This is a view of the camera mounted to the soffit. Without tweaking any settings, I ran a test both at daytime and nighttime to test that the motion detector within the camera and blue iris would be working properly. So here it captures me during the day. I specifically located this. I wanted it to be close enough that it would be good for facial recognition, which I think it is. And then a second test will follow this, where it's the same test at night time. It's not as clear at night as it is during the day. And the camera, this is not just the infrared light. There is a porch light off to the upper right that you can't see, which is providing extra illumination at night. And that's it. So the camera's working out pretty well. I'm happy with it. It's doing what I want it to do. I imagine I'll learn some more as time goes along and I get a chance to play with and tweak the settings. It's currently selling for $55.99 on Amazon with Prime delivery. And I would recommend it. I think, if your needs fall within the parameters of the camera, go for it.